I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. But I want to say this, and though I have used a humorous spirit here today, I'm very serious. And everything I've said to you is the absolute truth. It's a truth that you've not heard. And it's a truth that is very risky for me to say, very risky. But I thought that you were worth knowing this. And so I said it anyway. The man called me the other day and told me there's a target on my back, that they're going to get me. Either they're going to hit me with some of their lawsuits that I won't have money to afford the lawyers, or they're going to get a doctor to inject me with something and cause me to be mentally unstable, try to take away my dignity. What he did say is that they're not going to put me in jail. I thought that was interesting, that doesn't profit them anything. And if they did, I'd turn the jails out. I'd turn the jails into churches if that's what they did, the prisons. But he said there's a target on my back and that they don't like the fact that I preach the Bible, in the Old Testament in particular. I'll say this, and I pray that everyone would understand my heart. I don't know if the Shemites are concerned that I'm telling the Hamites that they need to read the Old Testament. I don't know that to be true, but I'm raising some hypotheses here today, and I'm going to let y'all go. I've used up my 7 minutes, and I know it, and I thank you for your very generous spirit. But I'm teaching the truth about the Old Testament. And the Shemites have become dominant in world economics because of that Old Testament. That's how come they become so powerful, because of that, not the New Testament, it's that Old Testament that has made them dominant in economics globally, everywhere, even over every type of government, whether it be autocrat, Democrat, a totalitarian, a dictator, don't matter. They got the money. And I'm not saying this in a facetious, anti-Semitic way. I'm a Zionist. By that I mean, I believe Jesus was a Jew. I've been to Israel. And I've kissed the ground. I believe all that land was given to the Jews. I'm a Zionist. I'm not an anti-Semite. No, I'm not. I used to have a lot of Jewish friends. I don't know what happened to them. But I can tell you this. I can tell you this, that the issue here is that I'm teaching Hamite people that they can be just as powerful economically if they'll let me teach them the Old Testament. That's a threat to the Shemite nation. That's a threat to their economic power, because they know if they grab hold of this word of God, ATLAH and the law, and me as their teacher, they know, the Jewish people know, and I'm not an anti-Semite, I love my Jewish brothers, but they know if I can open up the minds and the woolly heads of the Hamite, that's the black man, and teach them the Old Testament, they're going to have power, money power. And the Japheth too, because I got a lot of Japheth people as members of ATLAH. I can bring along the Japheth and the Hamites into the power of the Old Testament. You know, the man said they're going to try to take me down. They're going to try to get a doctor to inject me with something, or, you know, call me to be mentally unstable, inject me with 500 cc's of insulin dose so that I become a vegetable. I won't know my name, my address, or what day of the week it is. He said they. You heard him say it. I'm not being anti-Semitic. I'm not being racist, because it ain't about race. It's about the money. In the Old Testament, there's money in the Old Testament. There's money in the Old Testament. There's property, there's land, there's development, there's ownership. In the Old Testament, there's money in that Old Testament. There's money in that Old Testament. God knows there's plenty of money in that Old Testament. There's money in that Sabbath. There's money in that first fruit. There's money in that tithe. There's money in the Old Testament. There's money. There's money. And people running around and talking about we don't need the Old Testament no more. The Lord's going to pray that we prosper and be in health. No. So I don't know that that's what's happening to me. But I want you to digest these things I've said, because they're all true. And I've told them to you so we can learn how to protect ourselves. I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. The Mellon Bank to Judge Bluth and to Judge Francis A. Kahn III. We shall not be moved.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Sing it. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved.
In the midst of war we fight on, standing on the word of God we stand strong.
We shall not be moved.
We're not afraid and ain't backing down. There's a new sheriff here in this town.
We shall not be moved.
You can try, but you won't succeed. The time is drawn closer when you will bleed.
We shall not be moved.
For God to have mercy on your poor soul, you'll find out soon you're not in control.
We shall not be moved. Singing, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Singing, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. You push me, you better be prepared, 'cause I'm not gonna run and no, I'm not scared. We shall not be moved.
We're gonna tear your kingdom straight down, and when we're done, you won't be around.
We shall not be moved.
We don't even know this battle is the Lord's. We stand on His word and we hold His sword.
We shall not be moved.
You better leave town and do it right now. You curse our holy word that we will all out.
We shall not be moved. Singing, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Singing, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Singing, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Singing, we shall not be moved. 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 We shall not be moved.
Dance it out now.
We shall not be moved.
Clap with us now.
We shall not be moved.
Sing with us now.
We shall not be moved.
Come on now.
We shall not be moved.
Come on now.
We shall not be moved. 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 We shall not be moved.
Pastor Manny now.
We shall not be moved.
Mother Manny now.
We shall not be moved.
All the elders now.
We shall not be moved.
All the mothers now.
We shall not be moved.
Come on, stop your feet.
We shall not be moved.
Come on, clap your hands.
We shall not be moved.
Sing it.
We shall not be moved.
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 We shall not be moved.